Good evening.
Hi, Keith. And we are live.
Very good.
Hi, Erica.
Erica.
Erica, are you all set for the agenda this evening?
Yes.
Should be agenda light. Hi, Diana.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good. It's almost past my bedtime, but
Yeah.
actually, this is when usually we're in the middle of our meetings. So, Keith, this feels normal to us. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Tim.
You can hear me. Good. All right. Thank you.
We can.
Are you fishing on like Lake Chauncey, Tim?
I can't disclose. It's an undisclosed location. It's a secret fishing hole. No, I think that's a background that I didn't really know. I don't know how I got that, but looks good. Got a big group tonight, 10 people at 8 o'clock. That's pretty good.
Hand is raised.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
I texted Greg, Mitch's meeting's running late, or long, so he might be late. That's what he said. First time ever, I guess, his trustee meeting ran late, so.
Good evening, Sean. Tim, what will we need? How many will we need for a quorum? We have 1, 2, 3. 1,
I
2,
think
3,
it-
4, 5.
You have, well, you have enough then, right? Is it 9 with the 2 school committee members? Is that 9?
Correct.
I don't have the list in front of me, so I think
Yes.
you need,
5.
yeah, you'll need 5, sorry.
So we have a quorum.
I saw Rob earlier this evening at soccer and he was planning to be here, so running kids around.
Yeah, he's in the audience, so I've tried to promote him, but I think he's probably still carpooling.
You want to give them a couple minutes or do you want to
I think
start?
we should get started, just to be mindful of people's time. It is, 8 o'clock, and I think we're good to go, Tim.
All right, and I'm only here just to, say hello and welcome and thank you to everybody who volunteered. Under the charter, I have the appointing authority for building committees, which is so odd to me, just so you know. I believe in the role of the superintendent to know his schools and know what the district needs. So I am more of a figurehead than anything else. So I'm gonna, obviously I'm departing my role here. It's been a great 7, 8 months, so I'm leaving in October. But obviously the committee had to be formed to get us through the MSBA, or not through, but certainly starting the process for the MSBA queue that we are in. So I think we had to comply with a lot of logistics, which superintendent and Keith handled, which I appreciate. And you guys will be in great hands administratively. And if I can provide any is up to speed and knows everything that's going on to date. And I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate everybody volunteering to be on the committee.
All right, thank you, Tim. And until we elect a chair, I will call the Peaslee Building Committee to order. It is Tuesday, September 10th at 8:03 p.m. And I think I'll just run through the agenda before we elect a chair. So the goal is to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. Also to take some time and do introductions. And then the district team will provide an update around the eligibility phase, where we are, what to expect, and also talk about from eligibility, where do we go to the next step. So that's the agenda. And I will ask for a motion for a chairperson, if anyone is interested in making a motion.
Do you think we should do introductions before doing a chair, since some people might not even know who people are? Or does that not?
I was
make
just trying to,
get it off your plate?
yes.
Well,
So, no,
I'll
we
call
can do
not it. I
introductions.
call not it.
Yeah, so let's do introductions and then we can move into nominating a chair. So I'll start with the district leaders and members. So I'm Greg Martineau, the superintendent, and it's great to work with all of you in this journey. And I'll turn it over to Keith.
Good evening. I'm Keith Lavoie. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Operations for the district. Becky?
Hi, good evening. I'm Becky Pellegrino, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Finance, and I will turn it over to Mary.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Coakley. I'm the Peaslee principal.
And then lastly, Sean Bevan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Bevan. I'm the principal at Algonquin Regional High School. As you might know, we just finished our own big athletic building project, and I really enjoyed participating in that. And so I asked Greg if I could kind of follow along on this one, because this is a much even greater one project. And so I'm really just excited to tag along and take notes and observe.
And there's no shortage of work for all of us, so
Yeah.
more hands are appreciated. Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Hall. I'm a current Peaslee mom to a 8-year-old, and then I have a little 3-year-old. So if we do our jobs, then I may be the beneficiary of this project.
That's the goal. Do you want to call on someone, Erica? We'll just kind of call on a person and then they can call on the next person.
Okay, sure, Tristan.
So I'm Tristan Besant. So I have kids in 3 schools this year: Lincoln, Melican, and the high school. And my high school freshman, he started kindergarten at Lincoln the year that they started renovations. So we've seen it before and during and after. And we love Lincoln. It's turned out great. So we love that. Hoping to do the same thing for the Peaslee community.
And Tristan, we'll have to talk to you about your parent pickup and drop off, how you maneuver that across 3 schools.
It's a lot of driving back and forth right
Yes,
now.
I'm sure.
Let's see, who hasn't gone? Diana.
I am Diana Nicholas. I'm a former Peaslee parent. Both of my children went there for K through 6. One of those has since graduated and is a sophomore in college. And I have a junior at the high school still. I'm also an architect. And I have a firm that is in Boston and have been very involved in designing 2 MSBA elementary schools.
Thank you. How about Rob?
Excellent. Thank you. I apologize for being a little bit late, as I think I caught the back end of Tristan's explanation about soccer pickups and stuff, but appreciate it. Again, Rob Tomasetti. I'm a dad of 2 Lincoln Street kids, grades 3 and 5. And Emma, my daughter, just started middle school at Melican. So background in construction and project management and kind of capital planning on both sides. So looking forward to adding my services here.
Excellent. Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Gannett. I am the chair of the Northborough School Committee. I have 2 daughters. They're in 6th and 7th grade at Melican. And some of you on here, I taught your children preschool. I am a preschool teacher at Nativity Preschool. So I see your last names and I recognize them that I had a few of them.
Guilty.
That's the way. Yeah. So I said before, Mitch is running late and Lauren is the other school committee member, and she is just putting her little ones to bed right now. So she is running late also, but she'll be on soon.
All right. And Tim, Tim is.
Did I mute myself?
So we missed you.
I'm good. So Tim McInerney, I'm the town administrator for the town of Northborough.
Thank you, Tim.
And I picked a great committee, so I appreciate you all being here, because listening to your backgrounds again, because I know I talked to you all on the phone. Were you all, the guy tested the group, were you all sworn in by the town clerk at some point? If you weren't, you just need to be at some point. I think that's some requirement for some committees.
All right. So I guess we could open it up just to a conversation around it. If anyone is interested in serving as a chair, we'll start there. Is there an interest? I know there might be from a member or 2.
So I'll just raise my hand and say that I am not an architect or a builder. And so my 8-year-old was very concerned about my participation, like, no hammers, mom, I have experience with chairing, and if it pleases the body, I would volunteer unless there's someone else who would like to do that. I was able to attend an initial planning session because, as Tim alluded to, a chair has to be submitted in the initial phases to get the project off the ground. Thank you.
And I'll just add on to that if I can, Greg, all the people I talked to, the organizational skills that Erica indicated to me, I thought she'd be a great chair, even though it was ceremonial just for the documentation to MSBA, but I still believe that now. So it's your body, you can pick who you want, but that was why I chose her to begin with.
So it's always a good sign when someone is interested in being the chair. So Erica has an interest. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion?
I will move that Erica be selected as chair of the Peaslee School Building Committee.
All right, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second it.
All right, we have a second. Any more discussion? Erica, if offered, would you accept?
I would.
All right, so let's do a roll call vote of voting members. So we'll start with Rob.
Vote approved.
Tristan,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
All right, the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Erica. So I will turn it over to Erica now to go through the process of selecting a vice chair and a secretary.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Really looking forward to serving. This is such an amazing group. So let's do vice chair next. And following suit, is there anyone who has an interest in teaming up to vice chair, which would involve subbing in for any meetings if there was an emergency that I couldn't be there? Any interest in a vice chair? And don't all go at once, please.
I'll make a motion for Diana to be vice chair.
Motion has been made for Diana to be vice chair. Sounded pretty serious motion. Is there a second?
Or any other nominations? No, I'm kidding.
I'll second that. Again, very new to the process, so looking to learn as much as serve. So happy to second.
There's been a motion and a second for Diana to serve as vice chair. Is there any discussion?
Diana, do you want to do it?
I will do my best and I'm willing to serve. Thank you.
Hearing no further discussion, can we take a vote? Point of order, do we need to do a roll call vote?
We do because we're remote, yes.
Thank you. Okay, can you just help me through with voting members again, please, Greg?
Sure, I can go through this for you.
Thank you.
Rob,
Yes.
Tristan,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
and Diana.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for your service,
And
Diana.
Erica, before we move on to a
Yes.
secretary, I just want to make a comment that we've dedicated an office staff member to be the conductor of all of our work and meetings and minutes. So that is, a person who's also doing the same work for the Neary Building Project. And she's outstanding. So if you're concerned about having to organize and send out meetings and take minutes, a lot of that work is already done. And that person is Mariana Silva.
Thank you.
Erica,
Yes,
Also, I just want to let you know, Lauren Bailey-Jones, she has joined us.
welcome, Lauren. And Lauren is a co-representative for the school committee, right?
Yes.
Thank you, welcome. Hopefully. you
And
had
she's a
success.
future Peaslee parent also.
And he's a future Peaslee parent. Okay. And I think I just see Mitch Cohen's name pop up just now.
Hi there.
Welcome, Mitch. We understand your meeting ran a little over.
Yeah, I thought that an 8 p.m. meeting would be plenty of time. I'm also on the library trustees, which meets on the second Tuesday of every month. And last month ended at 7:13 p.m. this one went until, about 8:10, which is
Of course.
Mitch, I'm not
I
sure how
apologize.
it happened, but you've been voted chair, vice chair, and secretary all in one. So
Welcome.
Oh boy. That's what happens. My fault. No,
You've
I'm
been
only kidding.
voluntold.
I apologize for my
no,
being late.
no worries.
Thank you. All right, and so we're just having a discussion about secretary, and I had one other point of interest before we ask for a volunteer, which is that the agendas are prepped with the help of Mariana, correct? So Mariana
Correct.
would sit and actually be doing the typing of and sending out of the agenda.
Correct.
And what about the minutes?
As well as the minutes.
As well as the minutes. All right. So to be in line with the requirements for this building committee, we do need to appoint a secretary. Is there anyone here who's interested in serving as secretary?
What are the roles of secretary, being that Mariana is going to do a lot of the minutes and agendas and so forth?
Is it just formality for the paperwork and
Well,
potentially
I think it's
signature?
also, reviewing the minutes. So once they're drafted, just reviewing them for accuracy before they are placed in the Peaslee committee's packet. Just making sure that we're following all of the documentation that is needed. So just basically assisting Mariana with record keeping.
I don't mind doing that if nobody else wants to do it.
Thank you, Kelly. Is there a motion for Kelly to serve as secretary?
I'll make a motion to appoint Kelly Gannett as secretary.
Thank you. There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we can take a roll call vote. I think I have the names, Greg. So will you just, okay. So Rob,
Yes.
Tristan,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
And Mitch
Mitch,
Also, yes.
and Lauren.
Lauren,
Yes, so I am a voting member. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
thank you. By unanimous vote, motion carries. Kelly, thank you for your service as secretary. So having appointed chair, vice chair, and secretary, Tim, I just want to clarify at this point, we can open for a public comment period.
Yes, you can, as long as, well, not as long, but well, I don't know if you listed it on the agenda when we created it. Do you remember? I don't have an agenda in front of me.
We did add it.
Yeah, so you can take public comment now.
All right, so before we go into our main substance of our agenda, the project is very front-loaded, so Greg and team have really done a lot so we can hit the ground running, and our agenda is really an overview of this project and key parts. But I would like to open for a public comment period, just in case of any questions or items of interest that did not appear on the agenda. Is there any input at this time? Okay, and hearing none, and in the interest of time, and with the consent of the committee, I'd like to close public comment and move into our agenda item number 3 or 4, which is overview of eligibility phase. And I believe I'll turn that over to Greg, Superintendent.
Sure. So it's great to hear background and experience of members of the committee. It sounds like we have a great group, a lot of knowledge of design, MSBA, project management, construction, which are all essential areas of knowledge as we move through this process. As you all know, the town of Northborough was invited into MSBA's core building program. And basically that program, MSBA partners with towns to subsidize the costs of school projects. It's a very competitive project, and we're very fortunate as a community to be invited in. Typically, a project, if it is successful at the ballot box, takes anywhere between 5 to 6 years from eligibility all the way through construction and opening a building. So it is a multi-year journey. The first phase of the process is eligibility. And when invited in, a town has 270 days to complete a number of reports and milestones, one being establishing a building committee, which thank you, Tim, for taking that lead and that charge. And then there's a series of certificates and reports that are required that we submit. Our eligibility period began on April 1st and actually ends on December 27th. Typically, the eligibility culminates with procuring money for a feasibility study. Fortunately, at the spring annual town meeting, the town voters already voted appropriated money for feasibility. So that's an important milestone. So what I thought I would do is share the deliverables and the dates and just walk through what has been completed and what to expect. In eligibility, I will share that eligibility is probably the phase where it's the lightest lift. It's collecting and gathering data. It's when you enter feasibility where things really start to pick up, and then moving to construction. So let me share my screen. And I've been moving through Google Doc, Google Meet, and Zoom. So I have to figure out. Okay. And can you just give me a thumbs up if you see the screen? Okay. So our period began on April 1st, and we needed to submit an initial compliance certificate, which has been done. We submitted that to MSBA, formed a school building committee. So that was accomplished May 31st. We needed to submit an educational profile questionnaire, which we submitted to MSBA on July 1st or June 27th. We also completed an online enrollment projection. So again, taking an outward look of where enrollment will be in future years. That was submitted. And then on August 7th, the MSBA convened a meeting to talk about enrollment and ask questions around enrollment projections. So we held that meeting and provided MSBA with any insights into future building projects, enrollment trends and patterns that we've observed, to review of our demographic data that we collect each year, and also to look at building permits, birth rates, and some other demographic data. So that meeting was held on August 7th. I will provide Erica with a copy of the enrollment report that MSBA provided to us to distribute to the committee members for review. Our next milestone is a maintenance and capital planning information. So that needs to be submitted by the end of the month. The school committee has a 5-year capital plan that it updates annually. So we will review that plan, and Keith will prepare the submission for that plan. On that plan is a building project for Peaslee Elementary School. So it does identify this work. And then also what is due is a local vote of authorization. So again, that was accomplished this past spring. So that is due by December 27th. And then lastly, the MSBA board will meet. The board of directors will take all of the eligibility information and make a determination if it will invite the town of Northborough into the feasibility study agreement. Typically, MSBA selects towns that it knows there's a high likelihood that a building project will be successful. So the hardest phase to enter is eligibility. And typically, if we meet the milestones and are diligent about the data that we need to provide, we will move to the next phase, which is a feasibility study agreement. and we'll work closely with MSBA to secure that. So again, the eligibility period includes in December. We anticipate being invited into feasibility in early January. And then once we enter feasibility, we will look to hire an owner's project manager. And then another major milestone is hiring a designer, a design firm. Those processes are all organized and led by MSBA. So they have done this work. They have great templates and systems in place. So it's a matter of following MSBA's recipe to do this work. So that is an overview of eligibility. The good news is right now there's not a lot to be done. There remains a couple reports, but overall, as a committee, I think we're in a great place with the eligibility phase.
Thank you, Greg. Does the committee have any questions or inputs on this agenda item? Kelly?
Thank you. I know the enrollment meeting we had, there was a question about the historical expansion of our town and the increased number of housing. And Tim, I think they were asking you to like figure out what it was, because it was after Avalon, but more recently. So I just didn't know if that was ever determined, if we ever figured out what.
Tim and I can take this one too. So Tim and I have connected and provided me with additional information. I actually had a call with MSBA today and provided them with additional information. So I think we are good on that front.
Great.
Thank you. Any other questions? Tristan?
Yeah, so how far ahead do those enrollment projections look? Is it a 5, 10, 15?
10 years.
Like how far ahead are we projecting so that we plan adequately for not just the next 5 years but beyond?
So they use 10-year enrollment projections, so that's what they look at, and they also look at historical. So they look at the past 10 years and the future 10 years. So the NESDEC organization that does our annual demographics report does a look forward for 10 years. It looks at birth rate, mobility, building permits. So those are some of the factors that looks into when deciding. And is that because Northborough uses the neighborhood school model? Is that kind of take all like Northborough as a whole, and there's the space in the other schools into account? It does. It looks at school. It looks at birth rates, school age children across the entire community. Okay. And then one other question on when it comes to the hiring of the OPM and the designer, what is the committee's involvement in that versus MSBA in driving that process? So the hiring of the OPM is the committee's responsibility. And we will work with the committee on developing that procurement. And the committee's responsibility is to select the OPM. MSBA is quasi involved, but primarily it will be up to the Peaslee Building Committee.
Thank you. Any further questions on this agenda item? Diana?
I was just going to address the second part of Tristan's question. So the designer selection goes through the MSBA Designer Selection Board, but they also invite 3 members to represent the town. So the superintendent, and 2 other people or whoever is decided from the town. And so the town will have 3 votes, and the rest of that committee is composed of staff that work at MSBA, as well as members of the public who may be architects, engineers, just Massachusetts citizens. They have a rotating sort of term. So that process is like the OPM that we hire will be able to, assist with the coordination with MSBA, and then usually the committee reviews the proposals, MSBA reviews them. They have a meeting, they usually shortlist and then often interview firms at that point.
Thank you. Greg, we have an agenda item, which is review of key milestones.
Which I believe for eligibility, I think we did that.
Okay. All right. Is there any further question or discussion on any of what Greg presented tonight? Mitch?
Not really a question, because I missed the beginning of the meeting. If there were introductions all around, I can watch those on video, but if you want an introduction, I can give you one of me and some of my school experience for the record, or we can skip that.
Absolutely, Mitch. Tell us about yourself.
Thanks. So my current primary role in town is I chair the town select board, and I'm vice chair of the fire station building committee and on a few other things as well. Prior to moving to Northborough, I served 2 terms on the select board and 2 terms on the school committee in the town of Douglas. And was part of multiple school construction projects there. I chaired a school building committee that built the new elementary school there and did a major renovation of the middle school. And a number of years earlier, was also on the building committee that built the high school and made some renovations to what we call the primary school there. So I've been involved in a number of school construction projects. I've dealt with MSBA and its predecessor, the SBA. And I will say there is nothing more fun than being part of building a school. So I'm very excited to be part of this process here in Northborough. And for those who haven't been part of building a school before, it's a great ride and it's a lot of fun. And as soon as we have an opening day, put that on your calendar and be there and watch the kids walk in and see their faces. It's amazing. The other thing that I'll say is, as most of you know, that next month on the 7th of October, there will be a special town meeting for the fire station building project. That is the project immediately preceding the Peaslee project. Think good thoughts about that project getting approved, because it's the next thing. So I'm hoping that gets approved so we can move on to the next project, which is the one we're starting at here. So that there are no hiccups in moving forward, and the town, develops a lot of trust in us. So both, from a select board standpoint and from the fire station building committee standpoint, we're going to be doing our best job to make that an extremely successful project, so that when the Peaslee project goes to town meeting in a couple of years for construction funding, that the town will know that the town does a great job with our building projects, as certainly we did a number of years ago with Lincoln.
Thank you, Mitch, for sharing your expertise with us. Before we look to adjourn, I would like Greg just to look ahead. We had spoken about another meeting date, which I believe was sent out to the group, and I'm shuffling my notes here, but is it appropriate to discuss that now?
Yes, and just full transparency, those were 3 dates we selected. They, without having a lot of input and conversation, the most important of those was this first meeting, so we could get organized. So Erica, it's up to you to, think about when the next date should be. My recommendation is that there be 2 more meetings to conclude eligibility. I don't think there's a need to meet more than that at this point in time. That's my recommendation.
Okay, and we could handle the logistics of that via email communication? Okay, let's do that then. Before I call for an adjourn, is there any other business that needs to come before this committee at this time? All right, and hearing none, is there a motion to Kelly?
Hey, sorry. So are we gonna send out like a poll to figure out the next meeting? Is that what? Okay, I just want to know to take it off my calendar that the one has already.
I think that's my call, because we had to name something to set a date, especially the first one. But I think it's best if we just kind of poll everyone's availability.
Great.
Any further business? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kelly. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor of adjourning, aye.
Do we need to do roll
Procedurally,
call?
we need to be roll call, yeah.
Rob,
It's Zoom.
Aye.
Tristan,
Yep, yes.
Tim,
We lost him.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Let's say he said yes. I'll say yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Mitch,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been a unanimous motion to adjourn, so we will adjourn tonight's meeting at 8:35. Thank you all for your participation and looking forward to working with you.
Have a good night.
You as
Thank you.
well. Thank you.
Good
Night.
night.
Here.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone. Thanks.
Bye-bye.